Disclaimer: do not, under any circumstances, harass, contact, or threaten anyone that appears or is mentioned in these videos. They serve for the purpose of archiving only, and I do not condone any of such actions or comments. You have been warned. Never touch the poop.
Hey guys, I am Andy here. I just put on my infrared thing to help me relax a little bit better. Before I go playing a game real quick, I want to just turn off the lights out in the dining room. I have to really think when I do things like that. Oops. That's gonna go off in 2 minutes anyways. I'll turn that off now. So, in this video, I'm going to play a game of chess. I'm going to unwind a little bit. Okay, and then after I unwind a little bit, I will go talking to you about what I'm going to talk to you about. I have not played a game of chess today, so... Got my weighted blanket / teddy bear here to help me. Awesome. I thought you was gonna do that. One more game. I'm going to cancel this game. So I'm getting a little tired now. Okay, so anyways, guys, sorry I had to play my chess. I didn't play it today. So anyways, guys, I want to give you guys a very quick update on some things that I'm going through here at home. And I want to tell you that a lot of the stuff I'm going through is I'm just trying to live a life right now, okay? I'm trying to focus on my routine and not get upset with what I'm going through, with trying to fight to get placement and services that I need to be healthy and function in society. And I just want to say that because of all the frustration crap I'm going through, I have been really doing a lot better than I ever have. And here's why. Today, I haven't been on YouTube much, except for once. Okay, I was focused on doing an hour today of putting together my fair hearing packet. Okay, I spent 1 hour on that today. I was distracted by a phone call from my caseworker. I answered the call, talked to her about the email that I had sent my insurance, and that she wanted to talk to me about it, and she asked me to send her some information about it, so I did. Okay, got that done. I went back to my computer, did a little bit more, but then I ended up having another issue that came up. And no, it was not bad. It's not a bad issue. Yeah, change sucks. I was not planning on going out to shopping with Dad, but I forgot today was Friday, and today is usually our day that we usually go to the store. Okay, we usually go on Fridays to Walmart, but today we went to Tops, and Dad ended up taking his Ram and ended up getting stuck. Had to get Joe to come help us. That was a little frustration. Okay. Well, long story short, we come back home. Well, okay, great. I started watching a movie. Well, let's get to that movie in a second. Let's go a little bit further. So after the movie, the TV, or during the movie rather, the TV stopped working for some reason. Had to restart the internet modem for it to work. Okay, great. That unexpected change threw off my day, but I went right back to the movie. Okay, dinner was done. We had something I really don't enjoy so much. And I'll get to that in a second. Okay, one, French toast is something I really don't like. Okay, it's more the texture I don't like, and it has to be done. Okay, it's something one of the very few things that has to be done, because one, I don't like grilled cheese that's done. Matter of fact, grilled cheese is one of the very few things that I like soggy / soft. For whatever reason, that's the case. I don't like it brown. I have a really hard time with that, with it being brown. I don't know why. I know it's a taste that I don't like, but I also like it. I don't ever like things gooey. Okay, there's that. French toast, wasn't really done the way I like it. But I didn't complain about it. One, I like cinnamon sugar. That's good. That adds a flavor to distract the sensory issue. But I had butter. I had syrup. And then because I've always have trouble cutting with fork and knife, I usually just use my fingers, make it into like finger food. Yeah, it gets real messy, but that's the way of dogs. So, let's talk about dinner time a little bit, shall we? I've been having this routine, structure, assistance from my family, okay, that I have not had forever. Well, guess what? Last year, I had the same structure routine for much of December. Okay, I had it a little bit last August. Okay? And now I don't have this issue where I have the structural routine. Okay, this has been the longest I've had structure and routine from my family. This right here. Okay? And I'm stimming more. I'm more happy. I'm not afraid to be disabled or different. And I'm not saying I was afraid of being different or disabled. Okay? What I mean by that is the way my family and everybody around me that's in my life right now have been treating me. I don't mind being, this way. Does it mean I want to be this way? Hell no. I'll get to that in a minute, because there are 3 things that I really want to work for in my life. Okay? 1, when I had that little taste of having an apartment when I was around 20. Granted, I was only there just to get away from my family for a overnight stay and then back home, because I had trouble taking care of myself, okay? When I was at the hotels, I felt this sense of quietness around me. I loved it. I just couldn't take care of myself or function. Okay? I really struggled. Am I saying I'm trying to get out of doing that? No, I actually had that little taste. I want to do it again. But I need support. When I lived at that only shelter that ever take me in for a little bit at the what's called the community missions in Niagara Falls, okay? Being around the other people, that is something I liked. So I really think having a group home would be something I would want, okay? There, we got that out of the way. 3, working. I want to be like everybody else. I want to be understood. I want to be accepted. I want to be wanted. And I want to be able to help other people and feel good about it. So that's something I want to do again. 3, I love how people are treating me right now. I love that little support I had from my speech therapist and working on some basic things that we worked on in school with me in speech and therapy. Eye contact. Okay, I came a long ways with that one because I used to have a hissy fit with that. I can't do eye contact very long. Okay, but I learned a different technique that I didn't learn in school. School, it was always about eye contact, and then they basically gave up on that because it's something I just could never do. But what I had to do in school was I had to look at the person shoulder or the ear or the shirt or to look at them. But my speech therapist had showed me a video on a website. I forget, on a YouTube video. I forgot what website it was, or exactly. I have that in my speech folder. That I learned the skill to look at the person every so often and look away. Look at their eyes and look away. I can't do it very long. I get very frustrated and very uncomfortable going to look at somebody's eye. But I can do it for a second or two. It's very uncomfortable for me, but I can do it. Okay? But I've been practicing that with my family. I've been asking my mom and people, "Hi, how are you doing?" I've been asking my family and things like that. And I noticed that, "Hey mom, what are you doing today? Hey mom, are you okay? Hey dad, are you okay? Hey dad, what are you doing? Oh dad, can I do that with you? Oh mom, can I do that with you?" I've been doing that. Those simple two things I have been doing. Well, I don't know, but that's what my speech therapist had said. If you ask the person what they're doing or how they're doing, and asked to do it with them or talk about it with them, they about what they want to talk about, you show that you're interested in them, and then you get people who want to talk to you and interact with you. Wow. Then we worked on another time we talked about two-way conversations like a game of catch. Okay, maybe I'm still really having a real hard time with this stuff, but that asking, "How are you today?" And that's why I've been trying to do my speech therapy stuff, and that's what I try doing with you guys in my videos. And I also want to say that I really want to show interest in people. Well, I'm really trying. And it's really been a very good issue. So the structure and support from my family, the routine, the helping my dad out. Now I'm asking dad and mom and Joe how they are and what they're doing, and can I do that with you today? And that right there. And then also being calm with my dad, with trying to be turn taking, and dad explained and Joe has explained, and so it's my speech therapist. Sometimes when you talk too much or too fast, it becomes too much for people to handle and understand. It becomes information overload. So dad and me been working on, like my speech therapist have been working on, slowing things down one thing at a time, talk about and ask questions, and not be so one-sided. It is very difficult because I think I think I think my counselor is right. I actually really believe my counselor is right because Strong Memorial Medical Center had said this too. I do that as a stim. I am very, very, very almost certain that it's a stim. My speech therapist thinks I'm doing it for masking. I don't know. Maybe I'm doing it for both. My counselor said I could be doing it for both, but she thinks it's more of a stim. Which reminds me, I gotta put that in my notebook to share that with my providers to have them talk about that. So there's that. There's number 3 I want to bring up to you guys. I have been doing much better, and because of that, I have been more happier. I've been myself. I've been who I wanted to be, and be silly and be fun and happy and have good time. Well, I got a little carried away tonight. I got a little too silly. Yeah, I'm a little tired, so maybe that was part of the reason. But I got a little too silly with my family, and I got a little too rough with my dad, and I got yelled at by my dad because I got him scared by doing something when I did, and I will get to that in a minute. So I had tried to go poop as I had gas. I had, but unfortunately I couldn't go poop right. This was after dinner time. Well, I was in the bathroom trying to go poop and I couldn't go, so what I had to do is I had the dog with me. Well, Chewie follows me everywhere. Chewie and Tucker follows me up and down stairs. And before that, I went up and down stairs. Right? Chewie followed me. Tucker didn't this time, but Chewie followed me. And I go up and down the stairs because it's exercise for one. And I told my dad right when I started having gas and I had to go to the bathroom, or try to. I said, Dad, it's easier for me to go up and down the stairs and Chewie and Tucker follows me and get them exercise and give me exercise than when so I don't have to feel bad about taking Tucker for a walk and I can't take Chewie because he's just too strong for me to handle and then I get really bad back pain. And I don't want to take Tucker for a walk if I can't take Chewie because I'll feel bad about it. Because they both need a walk, I love them both. So I go up and down the stairs and I said, it's just as much an exercise as going for a walk. Well, I ended up having gas and I had to go to the bathroom. Well, I tried, I couldn't go poop. Well, Chewie follows me to the bathroom. And I was using my wipes just to, wash my face and arms, For some reason, I really like the Pampers wipes, the ones that the lavender smell. Okay, I love lavender. I'm not even going to say that I'm a baby because, guys, babies don't wear Dove lavender deodorant, and I know that babies don't, have a choice, right? But I love lavender. I love flowers. Okay, and matter of fact, speaking of flowers, one of my favorite Febrezes is actually the lilac scent. Okay, I love lilac, and Febreze actually came back with the lilac this spring again, which is awesome because it's one of my favorite, flowers of all times, right? So, anyways, I was using the wipes to wash my face and getting the sticky stuff off from the syrup. Well, I get done, come out, and I realized, gee, maybe I should try to get. I was petting Chewie right before getting out of the bathroom, and I realized, gee, he's got something on his head, like dried on food. So I used my wipe to start wiping Chewie's fur on his head, and then I realized, gee, something? They got fleas. Dad doesn't want to help me put the flea medicine on because when I put it on Tucker, because Dad wanted to do it, I didn't do it right, and Dad kind of got mad at me for the way I did it. So I said, Dad, you do it, because I need help. I really don't understand the instructions. Maybe it's best you do it. So I've been asking Dad to do it, and he won't do it. So I know lavender helps keep away, like, mosquitoes and stuff. Okay, I know that because that's why my mom had lavender flowers up into the October surprise storm and they all died. They were all in our backyard area. Okay. Unfortunately, we don't have any more lavender plants, but that really helped keep the mosquitoes away, especially in the hot summer nights. So I started washing my dog with the wipe. Well, I saw a lot of dirt come off, so maybe we'll go take a bath tomorrow for the animals. I'll try to get the dogs a bath tomorrow. So I did the same thing with Tucker. Well, Tucker does not like getting wet, but I end up getting him good, and I got lot more dirt off him, and I'm like, wow. I gave Tucker a bath right before we got Chewy, and Chewy, he hasn't had a bath since we got him, so I don't know when we got him a bath, but for Tucker to be more dirtier than Chewy, and I've been, trying really hard to keep them clean because um I have a really hard time showering myself, but I end up, you know, washing them with wipe. But anyways, I was having fun with the dogs. The dogs were having fun with me, and then I got a little too carried away because I use a clean wipe, of course, as I grabbed the second one because I was going to do this to Dad anyways, but I didn't want to scare Tucker. Because if I get Dad wet with a little bit of the wipe, Tucker's not going to like it. Well, Dad was doing his eye drops, and I got a little too close to his eye, and he got a little mad because I got too close to him, and he explained to me why he got that way and what he was upset about, and I said, Dad, I'm sorry, I did not mean it. I didn't mean to get that close to you. I'm sorry, Dad. And I just want to let you know because Dad explained he was mad, why he was mad, and what made him feel that way, and why he responded that way. I'm like, oh, gee, I'm sorry, Dad. I did not mean to do that. But yeah, I just want to let you know because my dad explained why he got what made him mad and how he made it feel and what he was feeling and why and what he don't want me to do. That helped me be able to understand what was going on. He expressed himself in a way that I was able to understand and not get upset. I want to say, Dad, you did something that you don't normally do with me, and I want you to know, Dad, that really helps me to know because then I can like you've been learning with me that when you're telling me that I leave you alone because you're not feeling well or this and that really helps me to know how you're feeling, what you want me to do, and what you don't want me to do. And when you tell me you're busy, go play a game of chess, Dad, that really helps me because then I'm going playing chess, waiting for you to come out and help me. Dad, thank you. This has been much better with me, and I want to keep doing this because it makes me happy. I want to keep helping you. I want to keep doing good. Want to keep doing even more to do better. I really want to keep this going, and I really want to keep going and doing more and more and more, and it really makes me feel really good. And yeah, I stim a lot more. Yeah, I was pacing back and forth, going up and down the stairs with Truly and Tucker lately. Yeah, I've been doing a lot. And it makes me feel good. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about one last thing before I get to go to bed. So doing this routine and doing this structure and the supports and the better social interaction, to listening more and talking about the same really helps me a lot. You would not believe how much better it is. Yeah, I can say having a counselor who understands me, having a speech therapist, having a APS worker, having a primary care doctor, my insurance, a team of workers at my insurance. All these people have been very understanding, very patient, and they really care about me. They're not giving me a label that just because it's something that they want to label me to make me feel bad or to make me question my disability or whatever. Okay, I believe personally I don't have intellectual disability. I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, I understand why I'm diagnosed with that, but I think it's misdiagnosed. And here's why. And I think my counselor actually agrees with me. I have autism, no question. I have level 2 autism, maybe between level 2 level 3. Okay, I got that. I got that. But there's this auditory processing, there's this express receptive language, there's the ADHD, there's the Tourette's part, but then there's this other part that was diagnosed as a child with dyspraxia. The dyspraxia, the auditory processing, the expressive receptive language, and the learning disabilities and the mood regulation part, and the personal care and life skills stuff, it's why I'm intellectually disabled. But dyspraxia has problems with getting dressed, fine motor skills, cooking, shopping, not shopping, but mood regulation, planning, organizing, writing, math, reading, spelling, visual processing, judgment. It has problems with fine motor, little muscle tone issue, sensory issues, and part of the sensory issue and the muscle control and muscle tone causes issues with your digestive issues, the bowel and bladder incontinent, that kind of stuff happens to be with this disorder. It's very common to have that. Now I've also have autism and ADHD and Tourette's. They are very common having incontinence too, but the dyspraxia I learned kind of like fits why I have trouble driving, why I could never drive, why I have always had trouble crossing the street. I got hit by a car when it was 2005 trying to cross the street. It's also part of why I never really felt safe driving. But I also know I did a really good job. I tried very well, and I just don't feel comfortable doing it. Now, does that mean I want to drive? No, I don't. Okay? But I don't think it's safe for other people when I'm driving, and that's why. And I will say that I don't feel comfortable doing it. I would just feel awful if I hurt somebody because I have trouble judgment in driving. Okay, now that's out of the way. I have a lot of problems with the symptoms of dyspraxia. I don't agree with the intellectual disability. Yeah, I get what Strong Memorial Medical Center said. Having fewer diagnoses is what they have to usually do. But when they said I had that, right, and they said I didn't have the auditory processing and the language disability and the dyspraxia like was on my childhood records, they said that was part of my intellectual disability. But yet they still kept the auditory processing and expressive receptive language disorder on the diagnosis, and I'm like, you said you said I don't have those issues was as part of intellectual disability, but yet you kept it on there. Now you really confused the hell out of me. I explained that to my counselor. My counselor said, well, you have the auditory processing and the expressive receptive language disorder. You have the ADHD, but she's not using those on the diagnosis of hers because she feels that my speech therapist has that, but she's only working on the autism part because that's what's affecting my behaviors and functioning. Now, I know what she said about having OCD. I actually really like about what she said. And I asked her, well, is that why my repetitive behaviors scores were much more severe on my autism testing? And she said, yeah. I said, well, could it be part of my autism too? Because that's what Dr. Keffer and other people have said too. She said yes, but she's not qualified to say if it is or isn't because she's a mental health therapist. And OCD is something that she can diagnose, but she doesn't really know for sure. She's just putting it on there to point out that that is one of my bigger struggles with part of my autism. She thinks it's part of my autism, but she thinks it could be a separate diagnosis too, and that's what she wants ruled out. I really like her agreeing with something that I agree with. Now, I want to bring up a little bit about. By the way, I also strongly feel I have a panic disorder. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I strongly believe I have it. But I also know what my counselor said about that. When the anxiety or the panic is due to another cause, it can't be diagnosed. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? The DSM shows I have general anxiety disorder and a panic disorder. Are you going to tell me I don't have it? And I know she said, but I don't have it, but whatever. But I had the symptoms, but it doesn't mean I have it. Okay, I guess you're right, because it also said that if it's due to another cause, it can't be that. Okay, I got it. Okay, so anyways, this is why I'm not a doctor. This is why the doctors are making the diagnosis and not me, because I really don't understand things very well. But I get it. I have people who understand me, who accept me, who actually like what I do. And actually, everybody wants to help me. And I'm going to say this. If you think I'm diagnosing myself and you think I'm trying to get a benefit or trying to fake or looking up information just to fake, let me say that I'm not doing any of that. I find interest in learning about autism and mental health. You know why? It's very interesting to me. It is very interesting to me to learn about mental health and autism and different mental issues. You know why? I feel that it has helped me learn about people and me, even more than what I learned in school. Okay? And for my mom. I feel personally it has helped me be able to understand people better. I also feel it helps me because it's something that I find interest in learning about. Okay, maybe I'm talking about wanting to be a counselor at some point. Yeah, I would love to. I would love to. Do I think I could probably be one with my autism? You know what? If I can talk and I wasn't supposed to and my test score shows I shouldn't be talking, I think I'm going to prove people maybe I can be a counselor. Would it be the ideal job? No. Would my professional would have to give me a light caseload? I can't handle it all, but I think I can do it. And I want to help other people. And guess what? Having autism, having OCD, I set my mind onto it. I keep focus on that. And you know what? Yeah, my ADHD and anxiety sometimes can lose focus, but maybe not too fast, because yeah, I do have a really hard time with that. And I'm not going to lie. My ADHD symptoms really give me a really hard time. But I happen to have a lot of support, a lot of things going for me, and I am going to keep doing better because I really like this. And let me get back to you about having the knowledge of all this stuff. Okay, it has helped me be able to help my doctors. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you on another thing. I um I know that when I have my shoulder issue, for example, okay, Dr. Bizon didn't finish the surgery because I had kept up waking up in the surgery, and then there may be some medical issue with what he didn't do in surgery did. Okay, I had evaluation from the insurance carrier for that after my surgery, and that doctor said I had a 70% permanent disability in my shoulder. And then I had another issue when it came to the workers' comp doctor, who did their own evaluation that said it was about 70% disability, but my doctor said it was a 30% disability. And that became a big issue because both doctors, the workers' comp and the insurance doctor, had said I needed another surgery, and I went back to Dr. Bizon on that, and Dr. Bizon said no. And then he refused to see me after that, and I'm like, wow, thanks a lot. Well, whatever. I also know that when I first hurt my shoulder at Wendy's, I had trouble with my neck, but when I was seeing Dr. Sinna before, my physical therapist said, go see Dr. Bizon. He's the Buffalo Sabres, Buffalo Bills doctor. He's the best doctor for shoulders. You better go to see him. I got a little frustrated because Dr. Sinna was looking into my neck as being an issue, as well as the other issues with my shoulder. But when he looked at that information, I found out that it wasn't my neck, but it was something else, and then I didn't finish through with the evaluation, and because I went to see Dr. Bizon because someone else told me to go see him because it was better, it's Buffalo Sabres, Buffalo Bills doctor, and okay, great. Well, long story short is when I had my knee issue, Dr. Burness was one of the doctors that I saw the same group as Dr. Bizon. Well, I almost went through knee surgery, and I got discharged from his office because I couldn't get to my appointments because Dad wasn't taking me. This was when I was out of the home, and well, long story short is, since I had my back surgery, I haven't needed a knee brace. Yeah, I still have my knee that gives out every so often, but it doesn't hyperextend like it did. Yeah, I still have a little bit of an issue, but I do have a partial ACL issue, but I never knew that what I was experiencing was from my back. And I think when I have that communication problem and the sensory issue and trouble knowing how to explain symptoms to doctors of mine, it becomes very difficult for people to evaluate me for what my symptoms are. So I do go tend to go online to research on, like, for my problems. For example, when my mom and Horizons were talking about me having autism, I went looking online, looking some of that stuff up. I really didn't understand it. I printed it out for my mom to read, and my mom was reading, and then we talked about it at dinner every so often, and it made sense, right? Then mom gets sick, then that whole thing of that autism thing became something that everybody was looking to evaluate, and sure enough, it's there. So whatever. Long story short is, when mom wasn't well and she wasn't stopped reading the things I kept printing out for her, I used my screen reader to read it for me, for to learn about it for myself. And that wasn't until 2020 when I start doing all this research on this, and being able to read some of this stuff helps me be able to explain my symptoms and problems that I've been experiencing all my life to my doctors, who already been evaluating me for this autism thing and has been saying this for autism for a very long time. And it's just frustrating that I'm not able to take care of myself, and I'm going to go back to saying, Granny Goose, you're exactly how I feel. It shouldn't matter what my diagnosis is. Just help me get the help I need. You know what my diagnosis is. Why does it have to be such a fight? It's not the treating. So I want to clarify this part here, guys. Okay? It has never been a treating provider of mine. We're talking about the doctors that I see outside of a hospital. Okay? The doctors, the mental health professionals, some caseworkers out of the hospital setting has never had this issue with me. Okay, they've been saying I have these issues, I need this help. It's the doctors who work in the hospital and the social workers, especially in the hospitals, that have given me a really hard time. And the nurses. It's the hospitals that I have been going to have been the problems in my getting the services that I need. I want to clarify that. And then APS, they only believe ECMC and no one else. But now they're realizing they were wrong about what they did. And now they're working on getting me the help. So I'm just pointing this out to you guys. Maybe sometimes ECMC isn't the professionals that people should listen to, because, look, Dr. Cummings was part of the OPWD evaluation. His organization of ECMC and APEC is a big influence, or a big bias influence, because I have a big conflict of issues with me and ECMC. Okay? I know that becomes a conflict of interest. That's what I've been told. And I also been told that because of that makes it very difficult, because Dr. Cummings should not be a part of that. And there's a big quit cold pro thing, or whatever it is called, where APS went to Dr. Cummings to review all my records, and he basically says I'm faking my problems rather than evaluating my records like he should. And then he sounds like he knows me when he doesn't, and it makes it very difficult for me to get the help I need that I'm not getting. And since my mom and dad have signed and notarized a document to go to APEC and ECMC to get their statements taken off my records, because they did not make those statements about me wanting somebody to cater to me, wanting somebody to wipe my ass for me, and liking being in diapers and looking up autism fake, because my family never once said that about me. And ECMC and APAC has never returned the notice or anything to, or even let me know, or mom and dad know, to that they had fixed the errors so we can request those records. And my mom and dad were talking about that just the other day, that maybe we have to resend them again those notices in the mail. And I'm going to print that up and say, hey, we sent this out. You guys still have not sent a reply. I even sent Dr. Cummings and APEC an email, and I'm still waiting for that response. But anyways, guys, I will let you guys go, and I will be going to bed, and I will have a very good Saturday, and hope everybody goes goes well for you guys, and have a great day, guys, and I'll talk to you a little bit later.
If you like what you see here, consider becoming a member of the channel, where you'll have access to not only this, but 3 other emotes to make fun of the creature, as well as member-exclusive time lapses on how they were made. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment and subscribe to help expose the creature. And remember, Andrew Ditch fakes autism.